Welcome to The Path is Always Evolving, a podcast for healing humans and curious souls. Hosted by energy healer Tenya Eichenberg and mind body specialist Eva Wolf, this show blends science and spirit to explore real life healing, self care, and personal transformation. No fluff, no fixing, just grounded conversations that meet you where you are. Because healing isn't linear, but the path, it's always evolving.
Welcome back to The Path is Always Evolving. And today we're going to start talking about the 7 main chakras. You may not know this, but I know there's 13, but I have also heard there could be like 144. Now, I've never been able to find the book or where I can order the book about the 144. But maybe that's something that we can touch on later on, right? But anyway, we have a lot of chakras, but we're going to focus on the main 7, not the first 7, the main 7 that everybody talks about. And they are our root chakra, our solar plexus, our sacral, our heart, our throat, our third eye, and our crown. And I am going to let Eva kind of guide this, at least this episode, if not this series, because she's much more knowledgeable in speaking on the chakras than I feel that I am. And this is just a place of where I'm coming from and maybe my own, am I good enough? But I come at it from a whole different perspective during my energy sessions on just like what can we do to balance them, and not really talking about why we have them, what the symptoms of them being out of balance are, and what it looks like when they are more in balance. So I'm going to take a step back and share what my knowledge is, and let her share what her knowledge is, and so that we can balance each other in that way.
I think this is going to be a great conversation for us as well too, because we do come at it from two different perspectives. Originally, having been in medical care for over 25 years, I came at it from a very this kind of woo type stuff. So what is this? I practice Reiki, I practice yoga, and yet it still was one of those layers that I thought, I don't really understand what this is, what it does. And as I began to teach more yoga classes, went through more yoga teacher training, and became a yoga therapist, I really started to understand what they are and how they fit into the many layers that we are as human beings. And so the way that I explain it to my clients and my students is it's another part of our physical anatomy. And so, much like we've got the layers of the arteries, the veins, the muscles, the skeletal system, the lymphatic system, it's another layer in our structural anatomy. It's in another portion of us. And this is part of the subtle body, the energetic body. However, there is a connection with our physical body in that the area where we have each of our chakras, there's also a high concentration of nerve gap junction cells.
Okay.
So that means that the area where our chakras sit in our energetic body, there's also a physical representation of them. Think of like a big area of nerves, and this is an energetic mapping of our body. So as we go through each one of them, there is actually a physical connection where however the energy is in that space, it's also going to talk to the organs and the physical structure of our body in those spaces. And so this is where combining this knowledge with energy healing can affect and improve our physical experience in life. So first, let's go back and let's talk about what each of the chakras are. The first chakra is the root chakra, and that's located at the base of the spine, right by the coccygeal plexus. So that nerve plexus is right there. This is developed while we're in the womb and up until 12 months. So this is why the health of not just mom, but dad is also important in the production of a child. And the way that we navigate, the way that we show up, the way that we support our child in those first pivotal moments of life. Because the goals in this area, the things that we're constantly seeking to achieve, to gain, are stability, grounding, physical health, prosperity, and trust. So if you're hearing any of these things, and you're all of a sudden you're feeling triggered and activated, take a breath and just recognize that you're hearing this for a reason, and there is a process for how to pacify, because this is a human experience. Every single one of us is going to have issues with root chakra. When I talk with my yoga trainees and my students and clients, I always say, if you do practices that are just root, sacral, and solar plexus, you're going to speak to everybody, because everybody has challenges with these areas.
Yeah.
And this is where later on we'll talk about the Panchakosha model, the kosha model. It's where we're working with the Annamaya kosha. This is the physical body, and this component right here is part of that, an extension of that. It's the energetic extension of that. So this is our physical identity. The shadow of this, one of the things that we struggle with, if this is really out of balance, one of the things that we know it's showing up and we need energy work here, is if we have a lot of fear.
Anxiety.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So if we're always focused on the what if,
Yep.
it's time to do some root chakra stuff. And we're in each of the episodes where we go through this, we're going to go through deep dive into what it is, and then have an episode on how we can pacify that. So the little joke here is if chakras were people, the root brings the snacks and checks the exits to see, where's the escape hatch.
Right.
So the second chakra, this is located in the abdomen. This is associated with the genitals, the hips, the low back, sexuality, emotions. Yeah. And this is all about our ability to be fluid. This is the I feel, our pleasure, creativity. And this is developed 6 months to 2 years. So for this one, this is our emotional identity. When it's not balanced, it's associated with guilt. Solar plexus chakra, this is our seat of our power. It's located in our solar plexus. It's our power, our will, our self-definition. This is all about spontaneity, our strength, our self-esteem. And this is our right to act. And so this is developed 18 months to 4 years. And this is also where our shadow for this is shame. So, if you read any Brene Brown books, this right here, she is dealing with root, sacral, and solar plexus chakra. She is talking and speaking to these particular components. How do you balance this? So that's the big takeaway with this. When we're talking about each of the individual chakras, it's not what one chakra do I need to heal? And instead looking at it as what practices, how do I see it showing up in my life, and what practices can I include or emphasize, do a little bit more of right now to bring that balance. And so, just going through and finishing these, the heart chakra, love, relationships, this is all about self-acceptance. So our balance, our how we connect with people, our ability to love and be loved,
Yeah.
which is an important distinction because we can love but not necessarily receive love. So this is
Right.
a big component of burnout is in the heart chakra. And the shadow for this is grief. And so this is, when you feel those visceral components in your body when something happens, those are signals to tell us where in our energetic body it's
Mm-hmm.
affecting us. And our physical manifestation is the butterflies in the tummy or the constriction in our chest. Those are
Right.
the areas to pay attention to.
Right.
Fifth chakra is the throat. This is communication, self-expression, our ability to let our voice be heard. And you'll hear it in are you talking really soft? Or are you really being really, quiet or timid? Or are you being really loud and boisterous and talking over people? This is developed from ages 7 to 12. And the shadow around this is lies.
Mm.
So the sixth chakra, the third eye, this is intuition, imagination, self-reflection. And this is our ability to see. This is developed in adolescence. So this is, that time of where we start to develop our voice around ages
Right.
11, 12. And
Yep.
then after that, we start to develop our third eye. So the
The
shadow,
rebellious stage.
what's that? Yeah,
The rebellious stage.
exactly. Because the shadow for this is illusion.
Ah, look at that.
Yep. So, as we go through this, there's going to be a lot of aha moments when you're looking back at yourself and you're going, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this makes
Yeah,
so much sense.
it does.
And then the last one is the seventh chakra. This is the top of the head. This is the cerebral cortex. This is awareness, self-knowledge. This is our ability to develop that discernment and put connections together, our consciousness, our knowledge. This is our right to know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is developed throughout our entire life. We are constantly working on this. The shadow of this is thought. I'm sorry, my bad. The shadow of this is attachment,
Attachment.
attachment.
Okay.
So, being, very rigid in our thinking,
Right.
is the shadow of this. So one thing to be mindful of is this is a continuum. That you don't get to a point where everything is completely balanced and then you're just done, like you win
Mm-hmm.
at life. That's not how this works.
Right.
There is an energetic flow from the root to the crown and from the crown to the root all the time.
Yeah.
And this component of this energy flow is, I'm just going through and getting the visualization here. You can hear me scrolling through my book, because it talks about the energetic transition, the energetic development that we have in life. And of course, now that I want to talk about it, I can't find it. So just being mindful that this is something that we're constantly trying to balance throughout our entire life. And as energy workers, this is the area that we work, because again, we don't need to know, are you working on creating more stability and grounding? Do you need to do more self-reflection? What we're doing is we're scanning in the different modalities. In Reiki, we actually do a body scan
Mm-hmm.
and see what is the energetic level in each of the chakras, and then that informs how we do the energy practice, where we
Right.
start. And then we can always go back and we can scan again and see, is there more movement happening here? Is there something, one particular area that we really need to focus in on? But as a person, the way that we can recognize that there's imbalances in our body is when we know more about the chakras, and we know more about what does it look like when it's out of balance. is it too much or is it too little? Then we know the practices to do, things like journaling, grounding, dancing, singing, coloring, art projects, different things that we can do in our life to bring more balance into our energy and to
Mm-hmm.
be able to feel when our energy is high and we're in a high octave energy, right? We're in a good vibrational
Right.
energy,
Right.
where we're kind and we're compassionate, because we can be in a high energy state, but it's a low octave energy, and that's where it's more, we're going to see the shadows more.
Mm-hmm.
So in this, again, there's not a right, there's not a wrong. And as we go through different things in life, these are things that we're always going to have ups and downs in.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of like, in the medical field, we draw labs every single day. And most people are like, why are you taking my labs again? You just did them yesterday. Well, certain levels change hour to hour, and your
Yeah.
energy changes
Yep.
as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And when we come at it from, like you were saying, you can check the levels through Reiki, through other energy, we can check the levels. Like when I come at it from an energetic standpoint, I'm asking how happy and balanced is each chakra out of 10, right? 10 being it's completely balanced, 0 being it's horribly balanced. I've even had some go into the negative. If you are actually my own root chakra, when I first started to when I first got into energy work and started looking at more than just what was causing my anxiety and depression, and I got into, because someone mentioned, hey, have you checked how happy or how balanced your chakras are, when I was first introduced to the chakra system. um and I believe my root chakra was actually like -2 or -3, because my anxiety, my worry around so many things, even though it wasn't so outwardly noticeable to other people, inside I was worried about money, I was worried about taking time off of work, I was worried about my parents, my kids, all kinds of things, and that reflected in how safe I felt in life, how safe I felt just being human.
And this is an important aspect, because when we understand these things and we understand the traits of each of the chakras, then when we're in a relationship with a person or we interact with a person and we see those specific traits, then we can have a bit of compassion and empathy
Yeah.
for them and understand that they're not in an energetic space. Going back to the conversation that we had about parents, when you understand the different traits of each of the chakras, and you start to see the shadows, and the
Hmm.
shadows, again, remember, the shadows are places where light needs to be applied. It's
Right.
not good, it's not bad, it's
Right.
information. And the
Right.
shadows are the places where we need to do work.
Yeah.
And when we see these things like, dominating, controlling, constantly active, that's a solar plexus excess.
Hmm.
So that needs to be pacified, and that's pacified very, very by a very specific thing. Um, Codependency, poor boundaries, being jealous and possessive. It's a heart chakra trait that shows there's an imbalance there,
Yeah.
right? They're not a bad person, they're an imbalanced person.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 And when you can look at it in that way, um it flips that it starts to activate that crown chakra, because that awareness, that knowing, and then you can start to address those lower chakras, in I'll in one of the episodes, probably towards the end of the whole thing, because I want to get through all of what the chakras are and how we can balance them. I'll add a great meditation from the Healing Remembered app that my clients have access to with each session, and so I'll add that into the show notes. But you have to come back and listen to all of the episodes in order to get that, or you could book a session if you want to get that meditation sooner. Um, but if you can close your eyes and visualize a light running up and down your central column, just imagine a column going up and down through your system, and imagining that light going up and down. If you can feel that light getting stuck at the root chakra, I mean, you will be able to feel and be honest with yourself. You will be able to feel where that gets stuck, where that light that you're trying to push through will not go.
So here's an interesting piece of trivia, knowledge. Uh, so the chakras, the main channel goes through from the root to the crown, and it also connects with the different meridians, the different
Mhm.
nadis within the body, which are energy channels.
Yep.
And the biggest energy channels are the Ida and the Pingala. One is your sun side, one is your moon side, parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system, example of or energies in those.
Hmm.
And the those meridians, those nadis, interweave. They start at the root, at the base of the root, and they interweave going into each of the chakras, coming all the way up to, and those two nadis end at the third eye. And there's a main meridian, main nadi as well through or that's the way that the energy rises, called the seat of the Kundalini energy. The caduceus, the medical symbol, is a staff with two snakes interweaving at each component. And
Mm.
so if you go back into history, there is a component of the chakras that was involved in traditional medicine.
Hmm.
And if you look in traditional Chinese medicine, they talk about the chakras, and it's interwoven into a lot of different ancient medical practices. So the chakras we've been aware of the chakras, we've been utilizing the chakras, and we've stepped away from it in
Right.
traditional Western medicine. However, the practices of pacifying these individual chakras can also assist in the management and improve the way that the body behaves, the way the body interacts with itself. Because remember, those gap junction cells are in very specific areas where the chakras are. So if there's a particular area that you're struggling with mentally and emotionally, more than likely there's also a physical manifestation
Yeah.
of that challenge in the body
Yeah.
as well too.
Yep.
So there's a
Absolutely.
lot of different ways to come at it.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say we're running out of time for this to talk about what we're going to talk about.
Yes. So the way that we're going to go through through each of the chakras is the first episode we will be discussing what that particular chakra is, what the traits are. We're going to dive deeper into how it is developed within us and how it shows up within us. And then the second episode for that chakra will be in what are the practices that you can do? What are the things that energetically, manifestations, verbally, what are the healing practices that
Right.
are available to you to be able to assist,
Yeah.
to
And so
bring.
yeah, we'll talk about energy work. We'll talk about self-care. We'll talk about traditional means on what we can do to help balance each of
And
those
there's
chakras.
a lot of meditations as well.
Yep.
And so
Yeah.
there's a lot of fun stuff to this. This is actually
Yeah.
cool. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear feedback on these episodes.
Yeah. So come back and share with us and sit with us your thoughts about each of the chakras, each episode, but come back and join us. Learn along with me because like I said, there's a lot of the like verbiage knowledge. Like I have some of this knowledge, but it's like I struggle with explaining it. And so this is going to be just as much of a learning experience for me as it will be for you.
I look forward to the questions that you're going to have around this as well too.
Oh, I'm not good at asking questions. I'm not. So I'll do my best, but just usually like, yeah, you covered everything.
Could that be a throat chakra?
I don't know. It could be. It very well could be. I don't
It could
know.
be. No,
But
we'll find out.
usually I get out of what I'm learning. I really do feel like I get everything I'm supposed to get. And so I often don't feel like, and if I do have questions, I will ask them, but I think that you're probably going to cover a lot of what I would probably have questions on, or that I already know that I'm just not,
You don't know what you don't know.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I
you
don't
may
know what
know
I
it in
don't
a
know.
different capacity.
Right, right. I may know it, but it's, yeah, like you said, it's just in a different capacity or it's worded differently. That could be it too. But come back and join us and learn along. But we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Take care.